Let the people sing their stories and their songs and the music of their native land. Their lullabies and battle cries and songs of hope and joy. So join us hand in hand. All across this ancient land, throughout the test of time, it was music that kept their spirits free. Those songs of yours and mine.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Four Tims and a Podcast. We're lucky today to be joined by Hollywood actor Gianni Capaldi and also a massive Celtic fan. So Gianni, thanks very much for coming on the podcast.
No problem at all.
So just to start, how did you get into acting? What was your inspiration growing up to become an actor?
So growing up, I wanted to be, I think everybody in the west of Scotland growing up wanted to be a footballer. So I kind of gave the start of my life in my teenage years all with football, and I came up the ranks with Motherwell, and I think up to the age of 19. And then things didn't transpire, back to uni, and then later on in life, I took the jump and I just went over to LA and to study acting over there at a place called Stella Adler, and it was I went on by myself, didn't know anyone out there, and it was a big change of scenery, culture. I always felt that sometimes in the west of Scotland you're kind of held back, and if you're not doing something that people can understand, it gets frowned upon, or it's never the most positive of places, I feel, for growing up sometimes. But it's I think stepping into the unknown's a bit scary, especially when you're so far away from your family and your home. But I went over, and then and I ended up staying there I went to Stella Adler for about 3 years. 3.5 years, and then I landed my first gig out there, and and it all just took off from there. I never looked back after that.
That's quite a big leap of faith to take in yourself, to decide I'm going to move halfway across the world to study something obviously you're passionate about. You must have had a lot of belief that you were going to eventually be successful then.
Well, I always think that if you don't try, you'll never know, and life is about experiences, and experiences aren't just positive experiences. You can't be scared to fail, or you can't be scared to not try something because of the hurdles that you face, or the challenges, and you get one shot at life. So I always encourage people to never put their own dreams or beliefs down. At least give it your best shot, and if it pays off, great, and if it doesn't pay off, at least you had fun trying. But yeah, obviously being so far away, because I've always been quite a homebody and been so close to my family all my life, so it was difficult being away at first. And I remember there was one Christmas I couldn't get back because of my visas and things like that, so I missed Christmas. I was over there, and I vowed never to miss a Christmas again with my family, so every year I always make sure I'm back in December for Christmas with the fam.
Just as well, how was the early years getting into acting? Was that quite a challenging period trying to get the breakthrough? Because I can imagine LA, there's probably a lot of aspiring actors and actresses over there.
You hit a stone, you hit 20 of them. It's not even one, but it's really competitive, and I think you've got to just, at the time, play to your 40s, and I kind of get lucky. First movie was a movie called The Cross, and it was a really good. It was a great cast at the time for the first film. It was a Sony movie. It was like Michael Clark Duncan, who sadly passed away, guy from the Green Mile, and VJ was in it. Vinnie Jones was in it as well, and Danny Trejo and Brian Austin Green. I met Megan Fox on set. It was a big change of culture and everything. But I got lucky and I got that one, and then you slowly you trickle on and on and on, and you've just got to play to your 40. And if you're 40, a lot of times you'd end up playing Scottish or British, or you've got to give something that they don't have, because there's Americans are vast. There's so many of them out there that are hustling for the same job. So you've got to try and give them something else, give them an edge, and make your character different. Whether it's your look or your accent or mannerisms, you've just got to really stand out, give it something different, and hopefully they'll go with a foreigner rather than an American.
How did you find working on, obviously, the set of The Cross with so many big names? Were you nervous? Were you excited? Were you apprehensive? Or was it just a mixture of all different emotions?
It was a mixture of all different emotions. I think my first scene was with Vinny, and we were the only. He was English, and obviously I'm from Scotland, and everyone else on the set was all American. So VJ was always very, what's the word? He kept himself to himself. But I think we started talking about football, and so he knew. A lot of people just wanted to talk to him because he was Vinnie Jones at the time, whereas we actually had conversations about football and deep conversations about, spoke with the crazy gang at Celtic, and he knew John Hartson. He knew John Hartson pretty well, so he knew all about Celtic. So yeah, we had a common interest and common denominator in our life. So so that was good, because it kind of broke the ice between us, and it kind of took away the whole nervousness when I went to work with him.
When you were working with him, was he giving you kind of hints and tips and kind of saying, well, you could maybe do this better or do that, or was it purely just you do your own thing and then discuss football together? Not
Vinny. VJ just wants to get the job done and go home. He's some actors you work with, you really work at the scene prior, and VJ's more, right, let's get this done, I've got somewhere to be, kind of thing. I don't mean that badly, but he's, in and
out. You've worked with him a couple of times. You've obviously worked with some massive actors over your career. Who would you say is the best actor you would have worked with during this period?
Well, I worked with John Cusack. We did a movie called River Runs Red, which came out last year, which was really good. It was one of the Hemsworth brothers as well. There's three Australian brothers, Chris, Luke, and it was Luke and Liam. But Luke, they're just so talented, all three of them. They can sing, dance, act. They're just amazing. Honestly, their accents are amazing. They're just really, really good. Luke was great. I just did a movie called Hell on the Border, which comes out in this December the 12th in theatres in America, with Lionsgate. It was another great actor. The movie was actually with Ron Perlman and Frank Grillo, and I think Ron Perlman's one of the best character actors I've ever worked with. He's just as his character. He falls into it. But a great actor in that show was a guy called David Gyasi, who is the guy from Carnival Row, and he played the first black marshal, U.S. Marshal, in America. So it's a kind of a history piece. So he was really telling a story, and he was just so good. He was really, really, really good. But I worked alongside like Morgan Freeman's and Danny Glover's, and there are just so many great actors, and they'll all bring something different to the table. Everybody has something that they bring, and it's great. It's a culmination of. I think they just figure out their fortes, and some guys have like really calming auras about them, and some guys are really actively creative, trying to, how can we make this better? How can we make this better all the time? So yeah, to pick out one is very difficult. I remember Michael Clark Duncan when we worked on the Cross Up, and now we're going back maybe 8 years ago. But I remember he actually prayed I don't know if he was going through a hard time or not, but it was an eye opener. It's a whole different culture, you know, when someone asks you if you want to pray with him. So that was like complete eye opener. But he was a lovely guy. You know, God bless him now. But there's so many of them. Even Frank Grillo. Frank Grillo was on that Western as well. He's another great actor as well. But it's hard just to pick people out. You know, you're easy picking out. I guess you'll remember people more if they were nice to you or not nice to you more than if they're, you know, talented or not talented. You know, I even Lindsay Lohan is, you know, I love her a bit. She's crazy as she is sometimes. You know, when she wants to bring her A game, she has this powerful demeanour, and she's there's something very special about that girl. We spent like 6 weeks in Brussels together, and you know, she just is. It's when she wants to bring her A game, she can really bring it. It's just when she wants it to bring it. So, anyway.
I mean, you mentioned so many big names there, massive actors known across the world. Do you ever get kind of starstruck, or can you not allow yourself to ever get starstruck? Because then you probably not produce your best work. How does that?
No, I don't. I don't get starstruck at all. I've got to be honest with you. I don't. I think after the first couple of years, you kind of get over it, and then that's it. They're just like you and me. That's all that is. And I've always thought, try and keep myself as grounded as possible. You know, like, and I think that I've worked with some absolute arses of people that, you know, they want this and they want that, and you know, and I think coming from the west of Scotland, coming from Hamilton, you realise straight away that, you know, that what kind of people they are, and you kind of have no time for it, and it's just abusing. I feel like that's just abusing their position or their power kind of thing. So you always look after everybody, and you know, you always say hello to everybody. And you should treat anybody different, no matter if they're working catering and serving your meal at lunchtime, or you know, or the guy starring in the films kind of thing. So you know, I just think being from back here, you kind of pick these things up, you know, but you definitely don't get starstruck because, you know, they're just like you and me. That's all they are.
Well, that brings me on. I'll need to ask the question: who's the biggest arsehole you've worked with? Then give us a Hollywood scoop. Who's the biggest arsehole you've worked with?
I don't know if I can release certain stuff, but
I doubt Morgan Freeman listens to Four Tims in a podcast. You should be all right.
No, he was nice. Man, I know I'll end up working with him again, so I just know it'll be Sod's Law if I say.
You must have one person in mind then.
I've got a couple, but I'll get a lawsuit for defamation of character, I'm sure. No, I mean, even like I did 3 movies with Dolph Lundgren, and you know, after 3 films, like working 3 weeks at a time with him, you think you remember your name, and you remember the director's name. You couldn't get the director's name right after 3 films together, back to back to back, and he kept getting my name mixed up. He kept calling me, like, it would go from Gianni to Gino to Giannini. I'm like, are we going for dinner as well? We're giving that all the time, just the 2 of us. You know, I just think that's stupid, you know, but if you can't pay attention to remember someone's name that you spent 3 months with, then it's crazy. But
well, there you have it. Ivan Drago's an arsehole.
Yeah.
Also, you've produced films as well. How did you get into producing movies?
No, I just produced I was just 4 or 5 movies, but see, it's funny because in America they'll give out that credit. You know, if you, there's so many ways to, you know, you can help with something and then suddenly they give you a credit for it and all that. But we did Dolph and I and Vinny, actually, we did the 3 movies back to back to back, and we all took producer credits for it because we agreed to do all 3 films together. So that was that. But then I did produce one with Martin Sheen called Badge of Honour, which was shot in Canada, but I couldn't even go to that because something came up in my life and it kept me busy. But I just got a bit too busy for producing and just really acting, and now I just stick to the easy, turn up, say your words, and then go home kind of thing. You know, it's easy.
Have you got a favourite film that you've actually worked in? Is there one where you stand you're really proud of and you think that was a really good piece of work?
The last 2 films, I really like Hell on the Border, which is a western that's coming out. I get to play a guy called Tom Pinkerton, who is a semi-fictional character. I play Pinkerton as we know it, his son, and I join up with Ron Perlman and David Yazzie because they have to bring down Frank Grillo, who's a criminal. So the 3 of us kind of go on this mission to bring him down. Love that film. It's got talent all over it. You know, even Oscar nominees like Rudy Youngblood are in it, like for a minute, and I also love River Runs Red. There was something deep to that character. It was the film with Luke Hemsworth and I are 2 bad cops, and we basically I shoot a kid and who we thought had a gun, and he didn't have a gun, and the son belongs to a judge who's played magnificently by Taye Diggs, and it's something that when he looks into my past, I've done it numerous times, and he joins up with George Lopez, who's another phenomenal actor, his son was killed, and I planted a gun on the scene of that crime scene as well, and then they come after us. It was just a bit of drama. I did enjoy the action drama thing there, but I think Hell on the Border is pretty good, you know. So I just did a Christmas film. I've not seen it, but I heard it's brilliant. It comes out. It's actually out now in the States. Adventures of Santa or something. So I'm sure if you go on some of these pirate websites, you'll find them. You can download them or watch them off it. You know.
Just to state, 4 Times Podcast do not approve of pirate websites, just to get that in there.
Nor do I.
Neither does Gianni Capaldi. Is there any actor out there where you think, I would love to work with them? Do you have maybe a hero as such that you'd like to star in a film with?
Oh man, I think the best actor in the world is Daniel Day-Lewis. He, Daniel's he's an actor's actor. He's like, he really becomes a character. You know, he's a different beast. He's a different level. I think from it, there isn't one person on this planet that can touch him when it comes to his talent. I mean, Gary Oldman's up there too, but there's something special about Daniel Day-Lewis. You know, like when he did My Left Foot, he never left his wheelchair for weeks and weeks on end, and he ended up with 2 broken ribs because the way he was sitting and whatnot. And even at the end of the day filming, they would lift him and put him in his bed, you know. And Last of the Mohicans, he would only eat what he hunted. You know, he took butcher lessons with knives and whatnot when he did Gangs in New York. Like he's so profound. You know, he did Lincoln, you had to call him by his name, like the president. So he's a different planet. Like he's the best there is. You know, I'd love to work with James McAvoy because I think James is one of the nicest guys I've ever met as an actor at his level. You know, there are some folk that out there that even support Celtic that when they became A-list, they changed the way they speak, they changed the way they acted, and you know, I don't want to name names, but James McAvoy is probably the most down-to-earth, nicest guy at that level I've ever met. You know, I remember we had dinner one night after the charity football game we played in. You know, and he brought his grandparents to it. Like, he's that kind of guy. You know, he's just so sweet and so real. Just brilliant, great guy.
Yeah, as you were saying, obviously Daniel Day-Lewis, some actors really do get really involved in the role and kind of become the character. I think one of the big examples was Heath Ledger's version of the Joker.
Yeah.
And obviously recently we've had Joaquin Phoenix's version of the Joker. Are these films that you enjoy?
Yeah, I do actually. I haven't seen the recent one, just for I've been travelling a lot, but I've heard it's phenomenal. But yeah, that's the difference. But you know, Heath Ledger sadly is not with us anymore. But he was another one who he just took it all on board, and you know, he just became that person, and he wouldn't leave his character till the project was finished. You know, it was he was so talented, and Joaquin's talented too. I'm looking forward to seeing the Joker. I need to watch it, but I'll need to get some time. But I'll definitely watch it soon.
Obviously, you have worked with so many big names, and I'm sure you're surrounded with big names in LA. But have you worked with anybody better and bigger than the cast of Still Game? Was that one of your favourite things to work on?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think just being Scottish and with the last season, you know, it was like never, never kind of thing. And you know, I love Greg Hempel. He's a brilliant pal, and he's great. And you know, he was an usher at my wedding, and he's just been so good to us in life and that. So, you know, when he had said that last season, and then, you know, one of my best pals is Martin Compston, as you know. You know, so it was a fun moment that, you know, we got to work, the three of us, in one scene. So, you know, it was just a quick day, but you know, and I'm glad it was the first episode. But it was great, you know. It was good to work with your friends, put it that way. You know, I wish we could work with friends all the time. But yeah, I had so much fun, and the guys in Still Game are just hilarious. You know, it's funny because when Greg's on set, you know, he's funny in real life, but when he's on set, he's even more funnier. And when you're with Greg, normally you don't think you can get funnier, but he actually does become so much funnier. And you know, it was good. You know, it was a thing that Martin and I were really, really proud of. You know, it's just because it's for Scotland. It's, you know, it's iconic in Scotland. So it was good. I really enjoyed it. It was a good day.
You obviously mentioned Martin Compston. He's doing great just now with Line of Duty. Do you ever think you'll work in a film with him?
I'm so proud of Martin. He's came such a long way. You know, I think we've been pals for over 10 years now. I think it was 10 or 11 years we met in LA at the time, and he ended up coming to stay with us. He was staying at a guy called Tony Cummins' house. He was sleeping on the floor in his kitchen on a blow up mattress at the time. I think Tony was charging him rent or something, and Martin was like, well, I had a spare room in the house, and I was like, just come up and stay with me, don't worry about it. And you know, but watching his progress and how he's done so well over the last 3-4 years, I'm just so proud of him. He's such a hard working actor. You know, he gives it a lot. He you know, he's found his niche with Line of Duty. He really is taking on that character, and he just delivers it really well. So I'm so proud of him, really am. And you know, as I said before, I'd love to work. You always want to work with your friends because the work becomes easier at that point. You know, so yeah, I'd love to do something with Martin that lasts more than a day. You know, but he's more based over. He lives out in Vegas now. We both moved to Vegas. He actually said, "Do you want to move to Vegas?" And I was, you know, I just had the kids in LA. And LA's not the best place to have a child because it's, even the pavements are like, they're like hills. They go up and down, and and the restaurants, they're more dog friendly than kid friendly. So I says, all right, let's do it. So I remember we called me, like, can you meet me at the airport in like an hour? And I was like, aye. So we jumped down there and we went to see houses the next day, and and we put offers in within a couple of days, and before you know it, we're all moving to Vegas. So, but Martin's got incredible work out here all the time. So, unfortunately, my work, well, not unfortunately, but I mostly work in places like Alabama and Louisiana and Miami and whatnot. Like, but if I get the chance to work out in the UK more and Scotland, I'd love it because I get to see my mum and my gran and all that. So, and then when I'm here, I always try and get as many Celtic games in as possible. So yeah, I'd love to work out here and do more. Get a chance. He works out here most of the time, and I'm stuck over there. But if I can get work out here, I'd take it in a heartbeat.
Just another question for you. In terms of obviously growing up, what was your kind of favourite film or TV show? Did you have something where you kind of watched it and went, I would love to do acting? Was there a major inspiration that way?
No, I think. Obviously, I think one of our favourite movies was Braveheart. Braveheart was always kind of like every Scots kind of big movie, and I liked The Godfather, and I was into those kind of films, Al Pacino and whatnot. And it's funny, you grow up watching Braveheart and that, and I did the movie The Bruce. It was just a few days I did on it, but it worked with Angus McFadden, who played Robert the Bruce in Braveheart, and I know Davy O'Hara really well. So it's like these people start becoming real, and you think back and you go, oh, I know you from such and such, but then you kind of have to shake that off, and then you kind of learn who they are as a person, and whether you become pals with them or not. It's up to the two of you kind of thing. But I think Braveheart was my favourite movie.
Fair enough. So, what is your major plans for the future? What should the listeners be looking out for? What is your big things? I know you mentioned the film in December. Have you anything next year that's lined up that we should be keeping an eye out for?
Well, I did a TV show in Louisiana called Salvage Marines. That we did 6 episodes there, so that should be coming out probably next year at some point. And when if they can get a chance to watch Hell on the Border out here, watch it because I think it's really good. And again, Everyone's Red, which was out with John Cusack, did that last year. That was good. But the TV show is with Armand Assante and Casper Van Dien. That'll be good. So I'm sure it'll be good because it's the amount of money they spent on the effects and all that in it.
There you go. That's what everybody's to look out for. Just to move on, obviously, away from your career and going to Celtic. Growing up, how did you get into football and how did you get into supporting Celtic?
It was actually, when I was a kid, I got taken to Celtic Park when I was a guy that worked in a hotel in Hamilton. He supported Celtic, and he took me a couple of times to Celtic. And then, obviously playing football, you don't get a chance to go to many games because you're always playing. I was with Hamilton Colts for years, so every Saturday it was playing football, so you didn't really get a chance to go all the time. But I think I was the first Celtic game I went to was with him anyway. He took me, and I always remind him of it. But that's going back quite a lot of years now, and then you remember. I remember I knew Phil O'Donnell and the whole Paul McStay days, and it was Celtic were always a team that I remember the 9 in a row from Rangers as well. A lot of fans nowadays, they're kind of like millennium fans, and they don't remember how bad we actually had it. There was a time being a Celtic fan was not good, and you're constantly watching Rangers win this league all the time, and thankfully Wim Jansen and Murdo McLeod managed to stop the 10. But I mean, these days are just brilliant. I think that's why, like, I love being a Celtic fan now so much, is because we endured so much, hard times when they went through their 9 in a row. But I remember the 88 as well, so that was good, a good time. But yeah, the 9 in a row with them was tragic.
My dad always refers back to it and says how brutal it was, and I think that's why maybe it does make it better for people to live through it. I mean, I was really young at the time, but they've lived through it, and now they're seeing Celtic doing trebles and invincible seasons and things you would never have dreamed of, going to Ibrox and winning 5-1 and having a party. I mean, stuff like that. I think we do really need to savour it, because we are kind of into I think we're in the club's most important 2 seasons, going for 9 and 10 in a row. Really, everything for the last 8 years has kind of been focused around 10 in a row, and now we're kind of into the nitty gritty essentially.
Clutch time. But I remember us getting beaten cup finals by like Kilmarnock and teams like that. That would never happen now. But was it not? Who was Jimmy Nicholl playing with? I remember Jimmy Nicholl played with a team and they beat us in the final. Was that Kilmarnock or something?
I know the famous one was Wraith Rovers during the
Wraith Rovers, that's who it was.
They beat us in penalties, I'm sure. I think it was McStay missed a penalty, and that was at Ibrox, and that was when we hadn't really won anything. So that kind of shows how far we've come since then. Obviously, it was a difficult era, but who was your favourite player? Was it McStay?
We've had so many. I mean, it's hard because there's so many different eras. I loved Di Canio when he was up, and Cadete, and Van Hooijdonk. I mean, McStay was brilliant. We've had so many great players, and it's just hard to pick. It's hard to pick them out, and I feel like people pick them out, it does injustice to others. But we had some great standouts. So even when I was a kid, there was Packy Bonner was a brilliant keeper, and the Aitken, and we just had so many. Even Murdo was brilliant. But anyway, there's too many to mention.
Were you at the game where we stopped 10 in a row?
I was. Yep, I was.
How was that feeling for you? We actually had Craig Burley and Morton Wyckoff on, and they obviously spoke about it from a player's perspective. How was it for a fan?
Oh, it was relief. It was just relief. I think we won. I think we beat St Johnstone 2-0. Was it St Johnstone the last game of the season, 2-0?
Yeah, St Johnstone, yeah.
Yeah, 2-0 it was. But it was just like a big sigh of relief. It was like, all right, now we can lose 5 years in a trot again. It doesn't, it was just that whole. There was so much hype from the media that they were going to take our title and they were going to be the best team in Scotland in history. So it was, and I'll tell you, like, we're going for 8 now. It's 9 and then it's 10. Should be going for 9 and 10. But I'm saying, as it gets closer and closer, you'll pals will start falling out. Like, there was times where, I had pals that were Rangers supporters that when the tension was getting close to that last season, it was just, you kind of fell out a bit, and it's just, the media's going to hype it up so much. I hope Celtic, we get the 9 and then we go for the 10, and even being in it, that last year, I always felt like, if I was in charge of the board, I wouldn't mind Celtic losing 20 million over the next couple of years. I'd be okay with it, and then after we do 10 in a row, then you can sell off a couple of players and make it up again. Because at the end of the day, it's not as if we're losing assets. We're just holding on to the assets and not selling them. I would never have sold Tierney, but I'm not sitting on the board of Celtic. So.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the board will lose a lot more money if they were to lose the league before 9 and 10 in a row. I think they would see a backlash like you've never seen before. So I think I would definitely spend the money. They did spend a bit there with Julian coming in and balling goalie. I think Elianussi's been a great loan signing. If we can even get him, that would be really good.
I mean, here's the thing. This has been one of the best years, I feel, for signings for Celtic. Because look at the youngsters we picked up. You know, we picked up Frimpong as well. We picked up that Afolabi. He's a good player, Afolabi. And, you know, they've got the promising ones like the O'Connells and the boy from Manchester came up as well. Like Celtic have done well this. You know, we've great coverage. You know, like Ilhamed's amazing for $1.5 million. I mean, he's a brilliant player. He's not a $1.5 million player. He's a lot more than that. And if Celtic were to sell him on after a couple of years, they'll make their money. You know, we've got like, right back. We're always struggling with Lustig and left back. Now we've got the right. We've got Bauer as cover. You know, Ilhamed. We've got Frimpong. I mean, we're so spoiled for choice. You know, left back now. You know, with Bolingoli's come in, and at first I thought to myself, "Oh no, this guy's just another liability." You know, it's like one of those ones where every time he passed the ball, you don't know if it's going to get given away or, you know. Anyway, we've got him. We picked up Taylor, who I still think he needs a bit. I would put Taylor back on loan, but you know, maybe they might just keep him for cover. But you know, Bolingoli, him and Hayes did all right at left back the other night. You know, so we're spoiled for cover. You know, we've still got big Simonovic. Who's essentially our backup central fullback. So, you know, we're looking good. I think we're looking good.
Yeah, so far this season it's been great. Obviously, big results, including beating Lazio at home and away, and also beating Rangers at Ibrox. You're just back from Rome at the time of this interview. Would you like to give us an insight into probably one of the best Celtic away days in their history?
Well, I flew in on Wednesday, and Wednesday daytime I flew out, and you know, there was tension. I mean, everybody was so hyped up about the tension and the fascists, and you know, so you couldn't really relax when you were there. But there was this tension about the game, and everybody I spoke to said, "Oh, take a draw," or "I think we're going to get gubbed," or "I'll take a draw." And I think it's just because this was a do or die game for Lazio, and they're playing at home. And they have got the talent. I mean, they've got that Milinkovic Savage is supposedly worth 70 million, and Immobile's top scorer in the Serie A, and he's one of the best players right now in front of goal, I think. But you know, we're getting into that, and we're getting back to a wee negative playing away kind of form. But I posted a video on Instagram, and it was before the game started. And it was in the stadium, and I said 2-1 Celtic, and you know, right enough, because I felt that this was the moment, and I think there was that feeling when the players were on the pitch, you thought that this could be the game, you know, this could be the moment that they make history and they finally won in Italy, and the magic just kind of like came through, you know. I think all Wednesday everybody was quite apprehensive, and you know, the stabbings and Wednesday night, and I just missed when the attack in the bar and Trastevere, when they were smashing the windows in the front. We left that place, me and a couple of guys, and we were walking up and down that area, just bar hopping. So we could have got attacked in the streets, but you just weren't expecting it. But after you heard about the two boys get stabbed, there's a wee bit of apprehension and whatnot. And then on Thursday, I think everybody just kind of relaxed on Thursday because everybody was grouped together, everybody wore colours, and you know, the police presence. The police were really good actually on Thursday. You know, I heard about the buses breaking down and whatnot, but for the most part, they kind of looked after us. And then so we went, you know, on the way to the game, the buses were amazing. Like, you know, they had 48 buses or something taking 9,000 people to a stadium, and the buses were so much fun to be on. And you know, before you get on the buses, all the fans are together and everybody's drinking, and you know, you know how sometimes somebody brings a football and they're kicking the football in the air and the head of it. So there's a football getting kicked about, and I'm not kidding. Somebody kicked the football and it gets stuck on about a 50-foot tree, 60-foot tree, right at the top of the tree, and everybody was booing. The guy tries to climb the tree, doesn't get past 10 feet and falls down. And this other guy walks up and he climbs the tree and he goes all the way up. If this guy fell, it falls straight on concrete and he would have died, all for a football. And every fan there was just cheering them on, cheering them on, cheering them on, and he got to the top, and he got the ball down, and everybody, the place erupted, and as he's coming down the tree, like we all went underneath the tree, so if he fell, we'd at least try and catch him. And I mean, I think it's absolutely ludicrously crazy, but at that moment, I think just things were just like, right, we're feeling good now, like we can do this. And I just felt like from people saying we're going to get gubbed or take a draw, suddenly I think we could do this, and it was great. It was such a great moment. And as I said, the buses were so much fun. We got to the stadium, and the stadium was serving beer, so I really don't understand that drinking ban, because I think I drank more beer at the stadium than I did outside the stadium. But it was great. Everybody was happy. Beer was flowing. Everybody was having a great time. We went 1-0 down, and I think we just got caught cold. And it was a great. I think Mobley hit it in the volley actually at the back post. And but there was always that belief in Celtic. There was belief that we could come back. And when that ball went in from Jamie Forrest, the place was just. It was brilliant, and we didn't everybody was just so happy. It was like we were winning, and the crowd were great. The Celtic fans are just they're the best fans in the world. They don't cause trouble. I've never seen Celtic fans starting a fight or trying to cause. I've never ever seen that ever. I'm not saying it doesn't happen or won't happen, but I've never seen it in all my travels. They just lap it up, and they keep following their team. And the Lazio fans were out in force as well, and they're singing. But Celtic fans, that 1-1, it was like we just won the cup. And and as the second half is starting up again, you're starting to think, right, we can do this. It's one goal. It's just one goal. We can do this. So there was Lazio had a lot of chances, and so did we. Edouard had a great chance, and it could have went either way. And when Cham ball got rolled out of Cham, I'm looking and I'm thinking, there is no way this is happening. Like, is this really going to happen? And right enough, he pinged the ball, chipped it over to the keeper, right into the net, and we dink. And everybody kind of just looked. It was like everybody kind of just looked at each other, thinking, "Is this real? Is this real?" And then it just erupted.
Yeah, I mean, even watching the game when the ball hit the net, it took me maybe a good hour to kind of realise what we'd achieved, and the fact we'd beaten Lazio, who are fourth in Serie A, in Rome. It must have been some party afterwards.
Oh my gosh! Like as I was saying, like I ended up in a huddle of about 10 folk. We were just all jumping up and down, and it's like everybody that you don't know, that you just met that night, sitting down, it's like your family. It's crazy. It's just you're all in it together, and when those moments come, you lap it up together and you enjoy it together. So after it, they made us walk to the buses. It was about a mile and a half walk to the buses, I felt, and then which was again they're serving beer in the street, which was so everybody was so happy. They're having a drink. They're walking to the buses. They get on the buses. The buses are great crack, and and end up back at that Irish pub. And I was in there all night, and they had an Irish singing in there, and at the back, fans would just sing themselves anyway. It was just partied all night. It was just so good, great feeling, and you're just so proud of your club. You have, and I'm not going to complain. We have a fraction of the finances of Lazio, but Hamilton Accies and Kilmarnock have a fraction of our finances, so I would never be a hypocrite and complain about it. But we did it, and maybe this proves to the Kilmarnocks of the world and the Accies of the world that they can beat AMD if they put their mind to it and they train hard enough or whatever, their tactics right. But it was a brilliant, absolutely amazing night, and I'm so proud of the team. Absolutely proud. I'm really happy for Lenny because when he came in, there was a lot of doubt from a lot of fans whether he was the man to take over Brendan Rodgers. I think the whole thing about when he left the club initially, he says, I've done all I can for Celtic. It's time for someone to take it forward. So you can never really understand then why they bring them back. But he matured himself as a manager, and he left the club, the security club, and went out there and learned, so he learned that like being away from home kind of thing. But he came back and he's doing us so proud, honestly, and he's getting the team. It's just brilliant. Really proud of them all.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, we were really against Lennon getting the job. I think obviously what happened with Rodgers was a bit of a shock to the system, and then, as you can probably remember, in the lead up to who was going to get the job, there was some crazy names mentioned, like Jose Mourinho, Rafa Benitez, Andre Villas-Boas, and we were kind of thinking, the board's going to go all out, and then it was Lennon. But you can't criticise him so far. He's been excellent. European, it's the best European campaign in the Europa League we've ever had. Obviously, before it became the Europa League, we had a great run in the UEFA Cup. But just to ask, how do you see the season panning out, and how far do you think we can go in Europe? Do you think we can make a dent in the Europa League and win another treble? Do you think that should be the ambition?
I think what's really important is we need to finish the group top, because if we finish second, we could be facing Arsenal, we could be facing Borussia Dortmund, Inter Milan, and the reality is how many miracles can we pull off? We're up against, it's like David and Goliath every time we face teams like Dortmund and Inter Milan and whatnot. It's not saying it's impossible, but if we could finish the group top, I think that's really important for our progress. And we'll get an unseeded team. So we need to get a result against the French mob. Hopefully, Lazio beat Cluj, and if we beat the French team, then that's us top, and then that's it, done and dusted. And then, going to Romania, I think Lenny should send a B team. Honestly, it doesn't matter as long as we finish top, and that can happen if Lazio beat Cluj and we beat Rennes. We've got the cup final coming up. I think if we beat Rangers in the cup final, it sets a mark. We've already set a mark when we played at Ibrox and beat them, but we dropped those 5 points so stupidly against Livingston and Hibs. Putting Rangers back in their place, I think it's really important, and I think we could do that by beating them on the 8th of December, I should say. I'm having a kid on the 9th of December, so I keep getting the dates mixed up, so I'm probably going to miss the cup final as it is. But I think Lenny's got to focus. I think we'll definitely. It's all about Celtic. See, this is the thing. Celtic have the ability to beat Rangers as many times as they want. It's all if Celtic play well. If we play well, it doesn't matter if Rangers play well, they play their skin, they play back, we will win. And that's what it comes down to. It's not about whether Rangers will do well or not. Rangers can play the best they can, but if we play the best we can, we will beat them. And that's what it is. We've just got to have the right mentality and take the game to them.
100% agree. If we turn up and play our best, then we win the game. It is as simple as that. We've got better players. I think we can set up better tactically. I still think their defence is shaky. I think they've never faced Eli Anusi. I don't think they've faced many players as good as him. They're already terrified of Odsonne Edouard. I mean, I don't see any reason why we can't really give them a doing in the cup final. I don't see any reason why not. As you say, it would lay down a big marker. I think if we can beat them in the 2 games in December and avoid any blips, then you're staring down at 9 and 10 in a row. Because I think, not to delve too much, but I think their finances are maybe a bit questionable, and I don't think Gerrard wants to be there that much longer. So I think it's probably one of the biggest months that we're going to have in the quest for 10 in a row, December, and we've got the squad and the players on the pitch to definitely have a positive month. I think.
I think that I know the Rangers. They recorded like 11 million in losses, but they keep getting money. They're always giving money all the time, and I think that there'll be a lot of Rangers supporters coming out of the woodwork in the last year to financially support them to try and stop the 10. I don't think they've come out the woodwork as much now. I know they're liquidating a lot of the debts, but I think next year when Celtic win 9, the threat of 10, you'll see a lot of financial donors trying to help them, and they'll be pulling favours left, right, and centre to stop us. It will get tougher, I think, next year. But again, if Celtic play the way they play and they're 40, but we need to secure Fraser in goals. We've only got him on loan, remember? So we need to secure him. It'd be great to secure Elyounoussi. I don't know if he would. I can't see him being. I don't think we could buy him for less than 10 million. I don't think they're going to take that big a hit on him. I don't know if the board want to spend another 10 million on him. And Fraser Forster's got to come down with his wages. I think he's on 80 grand, and we have a 30,000 cap, right, our club. So it's another stumbling block.
Well, fair to Elyounoussi, maybe on about 70, so I doubt Elyounoussi would take a pay cut, but I don't know if they would maybe reevaluate what our cap is in wages, because I guess if we make a loss or whatever in the season we win 10 in a row, the next season the amount of money they would make through merchandise and selling the DVDs, I mean, they would make it all back and then some, I would assume. I think it would be their biggest sale ever. What I'll do now is I'll just bring Andy in. He's just been sitting, listening to us, chewing the fat. So he's got a few questions and I'll just bring him in if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
It's been a brilliant listen. I just had a couple of questions. Thought I'd chime in with at the end, sort of listening through. And I know you touched on it vaguely there. I was actually just wanting to ask you about, so obviously with January coming up, I mean, in your mind then, where do you think we should be looking? I know, so we discuss it sort of week to week, and then obviously fans are sort of chiming in. We know the sort of striker, maybe looking for another one in terms of obviously Griff and Bio on the going to sort of be fit enough or X, Y, and Z. But I mean, if it's sort of you're in charge, what are you looking for in the January window?
Striker, absolute striker. If Edouard was injured now, we would be in a bit of trouble, because I know we've got guys like Forrest that can play up front, but they're not out and out strikers. Forrest can't do what Edouard does. If you remember back to like the Larsson days, we always played with there was a Sutton and a Hartson. There was always two. And I know a lot of big clubs now in the world to play with one down and out striker, but if we lost Edouard, I don't know where Griffiths is at. I don't know if he's going to come back to what he was or what he. I don't know. It's like an unknown quantity. Every time he's about to come back, he's not back, or something else happens. Bio's injured, and Bio's not Edouard quality, and I love Griffiths to bits, and I think he's a great player on his day. But again, Edouard is a step up. I just feel Edouard's a step up from both of them, and if we don't have another cover for. But there's no point buying bodies. Celtic doesn't need bodies. They need talent. They need quality. And I don't want the squad to get filled with quantity, because we've had quantity over the last few years. We sign players and they sit in the fringes and they never really play. And it's just like bodies, and I just eat up people's wages. We signed that boy from, was it Krasnodar, for 2 or 3 million, and it's, they're all in money. Like, we have a cap at the club, I get it, and you have to have that, or else, we're paying sky high for stars, and everybody then they want the same amount of money and whatnot. We can't do that because we'll put ourselves in financial bother. But we put a couple of mediocre players' wages together, and there's ways around paying wages and getting people more money than they're supposed to get, and beyond caps and whatnot. But I just think a striker's our first protocol is a striker, and we need to secure our keeper, because he's been outstanding for us.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And it was not to go back to him too much, but it was something Rodgers always said, it's got to be about the quality. Because I can remember the years, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, where we were all looking at it. Felt as if we had about 40 midfielders. It was just, we had so many. And you can play 5 at a most at a time, and it was just as if, why are these guys eating up wages and sitting on the bench essentially? And as for the wages, you're absolutely right. that can be covered with bonuses and everything else. It doesn't just need to be the sort of basic wage. I mean, I know St Johnstone, obviously they're a lot of the way for us, but they sort of get players in they maybe sometimes shouldn't. They make it up on sort of games and bonuses. And I think that's something that we could maybe look today, even way guys like Elliot Hennessy, if you were to try and get him in a permanent. But you're 100% right on the striker thing. It's got to be addressed, and I hope that it's something we're out there looking at actively the now. So on the 1st of January, the bid's in, it's done, and we're no sort of waiting about for the inevitable emergency if something does happen to Edward.
I mean, you've got, right now, the way it stands, the way the team stands right now, you've got Mikey Johnson, Tom Roderick, and Cham sitting on the bench. So I think we're really covered in midfield. We have those three players that can't get a game right now starting. Because we've got Elyounoussi, Christie, McGregor, Brown, Forrest. They're all keeping them out of the team. Who are you going to substitute? Yes, if someone gets injured, then one of them will step right in. But they're coming on for 20 minutes here, half an hour of that game, 20 minutes that game. And so we definitely don't need any more midfielders. I think our priority is securing Fraser Forster and trying to get quality. And you might not be able to get quality straight away, but we do need a striker. I don't know if we're going to find one in January that's going to be quality or not, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the least we can do is try, I suppose. Obviously, you just don't want the worst to happen, like you say, and then you're trying to put Forrest up front. I mean, at least if there is a striker that can play, then it's a difference maker. The other thing I wanted to ask you was, you touched on it as well, sort of with the League Cup game, and then we play Rangers again. I think it's maybe 2-3 weeks later. We talked about a few things on a couple of previous shows. One, I was looking for a prediction after for the Cup final. We had a few predictions running with people who are going to be on the show sort of right up to then. And then the other thing was, obviously, I think we all sort of agreed unanimously that the Cup finals probably it's going to be it means more than just getting that trophy. I think we all think it's going to be the sort of the momentum builder, and we reckon whoever wins that's probably going to be in the best place to win the league in terms of, because it just gives you that edge over the rest of them, and it's something that it just seems inevitable that be you on your way. So it was just your opinion, sort of the score, and then basically how big that is, and potentially even bigger than the league game a few weeks later.
I'm going to go. It's a hard one to predict that score because the game can go either way, and what I mean is it could be a narrow victory or obviously I'm going to go for a Celtic victory. I just don't know. Is it going to be a 3-0 game or is it going to be a 2-0 game? I'll go with 2-0. 2-0 at Celtic.
2-0 spot on. And do you think it's obviously, as we've all been making notice, obviously it's such a big game. I mean, would you agree that it's probably
huge?
We say it's probably bigger than the league game that's a few weeks later, just in terms of the sheer momentum that it could build. I mean, if you could only pick to win one of the games in December, what one would it be?
Well, I think Celtic win the Cup final. They'll definitely win the game at Parkhead because they've got the momentum. We beat them at Ibrox. We just beat them now in the Cup final. If we beat them in the Cup final, and then we're going to play them at home. I think Rangers will try for a draw at Parkhead, but I think if we have the momentum, we'll just carry it forward. And it knocks the stuffing out them a bit as well, because they're used to. One thing Gerrard does is he's always praising and that this team's great and this team is great. I think Rangers' performances are so mediocre, and Gerrard comments like he's just seen a different game. He's just watched Man City or he's watched Liverpool play. He's delusional, but he does it because the players think it's a mind game, it's a mindset. They think they're playing brilliant and they're on a winning streak and this player's world class and that player's world class. Then, they have that confidence and air of grace about them when they play. You don't want negativity. Gerrard does give that positive vibe a lot, but, truth hurts. And, come that Cup final and come the day that they come to Parkhead on the 28th of December, the truth will come through and it'll bite them so hard. And that's when, I think that'll be the big marker set down. And then it's just Celtic's ability not to lose it. When we go to teams like Livingston and Hibs, it's just down to us. Nobody, Celtic will win the league if they play well. It doesn't matter if Rangers play well or not. Celtic can always play better. So
I think you're absolutely right, and we've seen it before. The minute they slip up, he starts throwing everybody in Indy under the bus and calling them all out. And the way I see it going is we go to Hampden, that big pitch, we rip them to shreds, and then he just blows up, and he's like, again, they're all under the bus. Tavernier will probably get dragged, and it'll just be an absolute riot. And hopefully we all see that coming. The other thing I was trying to say was, obviously, you spend a lot of time out in the States. I mean, how is it try to keep up? Is it just live and swear by Celtic TV? Or?
I have Celtic TV. I have Sky over there as well, and the European games we get. But I'm having another daughter, and she's due to be born on the 9th of December. So we're over here now in Scotland, and my first daughter, Trinity Grace, was born here. And I said to Amanda, I said, listen, it's really important that they all born in the same place, and if they're living in America, I want to be born in Scotland, because then at least that way it's always their home, even if they're not there. So we're over here, and it gives me a chance to use my season ticket and get to the games as much as I can. I mean, maybe I went to the St Mirren game the other night, so I'm going as many times as I can, get used to my season ticket. So she'll be, I don't reckon she'll be going back before March, April, probably middle of April, before I don't like the baby travelling that. But my point is yeah, if I get work, I'll have to fly back and forth, but I'll get to see a lot of games now. But when we're in America, like even like the last Old Firm game when we're all there, I think the game kicked off at 4 a.m. So what Martin and I did was, instead of starting the night early and get out 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, because then you've got an 8-hour haul before you get to watch the game, we arranged to meet at midnight at the local casino, and we just go for a few drinks, a bit of blackjack, and then up the road, and we watch the game up there in the basement. So it doesn't matter if it's 4 a.m. or 5 a.m, 6 a.m, we'll never miss an Old Firm game, that's for sure.
No, it's always like a good level of commitment, and it must be difficult at times, like you say, sort of staying up to 4 a.m. And I mean, I suppose in America you've sort of no shortage of supporters clubs as well. Obviously they're sort of dotted everywhere and anywhere in the US, so I suppose it's always an option for you.
I told Thomas Strain, we want the Las Vegas Celtic Supporters Club back up running. So I think he's going to open up for Martin and I now. So now he's got 2 extra Celts in Vegas living with him. So
and obviously the convention tends to be in Vegas quite a bit. I mean, that's always going to, if that's your home, then it's just on your doorstep.
It was good. It was Tam Donnelly and Jackie Mean, they run that, and they had me come down and invite me down this year, and I went down, and it's absolutely amazing, honestly, to see 4,500 Celtic fans, or however many people there were there in Vegas at one time, and they're from all over the world. There's a boy that comes from Japan, and I saw him in Rome, and he was in Rome, and he came up and he was talking to me, and his English is so bad, but boy does this guy know every Celtic song. It's so funny. And he travels from Japan. He travelled from Japan to Rome to see Celtic lads. Unbelievable. And then he flew into Vegas for a convention from Japan. And that's the thing about Celtic supporters. They're just, see, when you've got it in you, it'll never leave you. And you want to pass it on to your kids and your people that you just meet, because it's infectious. It's just, it's just a passion inside us. It's a reason to live. Adds to the reason to live, not the only reason to live, obviously. But
no, absolutely, it's infectious is a perfect word for it. Just 2 more quick ones. Do you think? Obviously, I know you said you're going to have another daughter in December. Do you think you'll make the Celtic Rangers game at Parkgate? I mean, should we all be looking out for you?
I said to my wife last night, I says, "Can I get back last night?" And I gave her, I said to her, I says, the cup final was on the 8th, but here's the thing: would I want to miss? I wouldn't want to miss the birth of my kid. You know what I mean? And so I might just get a ticket and then play it by ear, and if it see how she feels in the day. So it's up in the air, but I wouldn't want to miss my kid's birth. Put it that way.
No, absolutely. The final point was obviously you were involved in the charity game at Parkgate. It was just to ask about that. Obviously, the big things, and they mean a lot. Obviously, sort of for the fans to show their appreciation, and obviously you sort of being a fan first and foremost. I mean, how was that to be involved in? And obviously, like you said, you done it with your pals. I know Martin was there. Just how was it?
Well, we played one at Dunfermline, and it was just Martin, myself, and James McAvoy played out there, and it was amazing. That was my first one, and I was over the moon with it, and felt great. And passing at Sutton, and I came on for Petrov, and it's just it was an amazing feeling. But you weren't playing at Parkhead, so as much as amazing as it was, it could be topped. So when I asked to play in that one, the Lubo and Henrik one, I mean, it was ecstatic, and you really get a feel for it. Like, I'm probably one of the most unfit players on the park, but when you're running out there and there's 60,000 Celtic fans, and everybody is, nobody's giving you a hard time, and it's all a laugh at the end of the day. It's just you're just looking around you. When you walk out that tunnel, you're just looking around you, and there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people, and it's just they're there because they love Celtic. You feel, I'll tell you what it is. What the biggest feeling was, it wasn't, oh, you're passing to Larson or you're passing to Lubo. It wasn't that at all. It was feeling the love from 60,000 fans who were there because they loved the club, and I think that's one thing that you never really experience as a fan. And until you get a chance to be on that pitch and feel how many people are cheering you on, and and I know that it has to make players play better. It has to make players. It really is a 13th man, and that's why a 12th man should be 12th man. But I just think it's a special day, and my little baby was there as well. And I think she was, 6 months old at the time. Not that she'll remember, but it was nice to know that, she was there on that day. And, and I've got a picture with, Martin played in the other team, the other side. But, it was just, I've got a picture with I had a top underneath the top that said Trinity Grace and the date she was born. And, there's me, I'm hoping that she keeps that in her room for the rest of her life, but I'm sure when she gets old enough she'll take it down. But no, it was just so special. My family were there as well, so it was just one of the best days of my life. That was one of the best days of my life for sure.
No, definitely. It must have been, and obviously it's something most fans can only dream of. I mean, did you fancy it as your wee chance to show that you were a wee bit of a football player? Obviously, were you playing it in your younger days?
But it's funny because see, once I stopped playing, I chucked it, and then I just didn't. I wouldn't even play with my pals. I just chucked it. I think because you give so much and you train. You used to train two times a week, and then every Saturday and every. So it's like you kind of chucked it. You get midweek game. I kind of stopped playing, to be honest with you. So I had to train for that match, but and the most important thing about that match is it's for the foundation. And the amount of money the foundation can raise and make, so they can go out and do the good deeds. That's really what Celtic is all about as well. It's they're a charity club. They're constantly giving. I mean, they do things all the time. Jade Maguire and Tony Hamilton and Chris Traynor. They're constantly working to help feed people, home people, keep them safe, give them counselling, give them food, water. anything they need, medicines. They're just constantly working and constantly doing these events, and it's it's a full-time job. And so having the players come back, Henrik and Lubo, their game, but the money all went to the charity in it, and it was great to see so many people turn out to play and turn up to watch them. And I think that's what Celtic is all about at the end of the day.
Aye, absolutely. That's just at the heart of the club, and it's good to know that it's something we're always going to carry on, and the sort of charitable side will obviously we're built on, sort of founded on, will never ever leave us. But no, that's sort of the end for me. But that's absolutely perfect. I'll just pass you back out to Tony now.
It's lovely talking to you, Andy.
No, you too, mate. Just for that.
Right, that's great. Just to wrap up, obviously that's been Gianni Capaldi, Hollywood actor and also massive Celtic fan, giving us an insight into his acting career and also his thoughts on Celtic. So all we can say is thanks very much for joining us on Four Times in a Podcast.
Brilliant.
Right, that's magic.
And enjoyed it.
Magic. Thanks a lot, mate. Cheers. Take care.
All right. God bless you. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye.
Now I've come home from green, white and gold with a tale and a story. Somebody told me about a great football team that fill our dreams, the style of their own, and a legend that's grown. Coming home, rolling down London Road. If I'm here, I'll never be alone with the Celtic roll. Coming home, rolling down London Road. If I'm here, I'll never be alone. Oh, I'm coming home. Now I want to stay down Paradise Way, and now that I'm learning, I get a yearning to follow the green of that great football team, because I got my color, there is no other. Coming home, rolling down London Road. If I'm here, I'll never be alone with the Celtic roll. Coming home, rolling down London Road. If I'm here, I'll never be alone. Where I'm coming home. Sound of the parket crowd, and it'll always get bigger and always get better. We'll see the boys and make a noise, and you know that I will, 'cause it's a weekend ritual. Coming home, rolling down London Road. If I'm here, I'll never be alone with the Celtic roll. Coming home, rolling down London Road. If I'm here I'll never be alone. I'm coming home. Rolling down London Road. If I'm here, I'll never be alone. With the Celtic road.